The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe.
Welcome to this episode of Pit Life Barbecue. Gather around the pit with your hosts, Johnny Maggs and Greg the Barbecue Broker DiGiorgio. Let's talk barbecue.
2 goddamn weeks in a row you did this to me.
Ben, you're fired again.
What's up, everybody? Coming to you live from the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe in Salem, New Hampshire. It's the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast, where we talk everything barbecue and a lot of other topics you know. We talk around the pit. As always, I'm joined by the Barbecue Broker.
Yeah, dog.
Thank you for growing that out a little bit. It's more comfortable looking.
If the baby,
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now?
what's he doing right now?
What's your problem?
What's on this screen?
The Pit Life Barbecue logo.
Are you sure? You're sitting there with the clicker like...
I'm positive. Do you want to double check right now? Look up at your monitor. What's on the screen?
I don't
Me,
know.
Greg, and Ryan.
I think Ben's smoking or something before the.
If you think I can see that little box under the 18
Oh, there
right
it
you're
is.
out of your mind.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
But it wasn't there before,
No, it wasn't.
Because you were leaning over with the remote.
Anyway,
We're live. That's why. This is the top of the happens.
it's grown back a little bit, but is
Yeah, it
this
looks
is this
so-
babyface broker thing going to be sticking around very long?
That's stuck. That is stuck.
I'm going to have a
Who started that?
freaking
C-Mac?
beard. I'm going to have a beard this big,
Who started
and they're
that?
still going to call me
C-Mac?
babyface. I don't know.
Yeah, you're done. You're done.
You said
It doesn't matter how big the beard gets or whatever. You are going to be the babyface broker. So
It
that's
is
going to
what
stick.
it
So
is.
stick.
Sounds like some friggin' mobster or something.
Deal with it. Hey, Babyface Nelson. He was a stone cold killer, so it's not necessarily a bad nickname.
Anyway, what's up, dude?
What's up? How you doing?
What are you doing? How was your week?
And eventful, to say the least.
It has. For you, had a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Pretty eventful.
Pretty eventful. I bought 3 new cars this week.
3?
Technically,
Explain that.
got the new
You
truck.
knew about the truck,
Got the new truck on
which
Wednesday.
is, by the way, just completely murderous. Thing's gorgeous.
Oh, it's the
All blacked out,
the
everything.
elevation package. Oh yeah, nice.
Why didn't you take that today?
Because I go broke on gas.
Can you believe this guy?
I go broke on gas, dude. You got any mind? It's a half a tank from my house down
Just
to
bring
work
it
and
here
back.
one time so I can lay eyes on it.
We'll figure that out. We'll
Just
figure
sit in
that
the
out.
cab and just feel it, you know? Just grasp it.
We'll make it happen. We'll make it. So I got the
Gas money for one day.
So I got that home.
What's a chip in for Johnny's gas
That's
money?
nice.
Could take it to work for a day.
So then I had to address the Camaro situation.
Right.
Because due to my new location, that ain't going to do well in the snow.
Yeah, no, that's not.
All my roads in my neighborhood are dirt roads. That Camaro ain't going to last for a snowfall.
Yeah, no, that's not.
So
or your knees aren't going to last getting in and out of that thing either, by the way.
I've been somewhat cleared. That's a whole different ballgame. So
Did you buy a Buick?
my sales guy, yes, I did. I wound up buying a Buick on
For about
Sunday.
15 minutes?
For about 15 minutes. So, long story short, email morning, hey, I got a bunch of cars, blah, 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 come on down. Okay, we're ready to go. Money works,
Yep.
sign on the dotted line, away we go. We left the dealership at 5 o'clock to 5:10. Dealership obviously closes at 5. Boom, boom, boom. We hop in the car, we head out on the road, heading home with the new car.
Yep.
Very happy, boom, boom, boom. Apparently everyone scurried to their vehicles and left the dealership.
Really?
Left the parking lot with 13 miles on the new car. Got to 24 miles and the engine blew up. Right on the highway. Boom. Done. All valves gone, toast, fried, burning, smell.
That is not fun.
Stuck on the
times.
side of the road, wife and kids. No one at the dealership to come and get me.
Wait, why did they leave the dealership? Was it closing time?
It was closed at 5 on Sunday, so they were already gone. Boom. GMC roadside. Come, pick up the truck, bring it back.
Yeah.
My brother Ricky comes, picks us up, brings us home. Blah, blah, blah. Doctor's appointment yesterday morning. Boom, straight to the dealership. Hey, how's the new car? I don't know. You tell me. What do you mean? It's in your service department. Excuse me? Yeah, it got towed in here last night after it blew up on the highway. What do you mean blew up on the highway? Engine blew. Gone. Toast. So what do you want? So what do you mean? So what are you here for? What am I here for? Either give me my damn Camaro back, put me in a rental for some ungodly reason, or give me something new. I go, I'm done talking to you.
Then what'd you do?
You can now talk to the pit bull.
You unleash the pit bull.
Oh, he sent the jackal after her. Sent Mrs. Maggs. Oh, yeah, she was not happy. Come on. Engine blew, brand new car, Mama Bear with the Cubs with her on the highway with a blown engine that should not have been blown. Oh,
Cars
yeah.
whizzing by.
I'm sitting here silent. You deal with her now.
We sit back with those dark
And they
glasses that
did.
you have and just sat
And they
there like
did.
this.
I sat there and I drank about every water I could to get as much money out of that dealership as I could.
Did you eat any of the snacks that they had?
They didn't have any snacks.
Son of a bitch.
So anyway, boom. Long story short, I got the twin sister to the truck.
Oh,
The GMC Train.
2 blacked out versions. Of that,
Elevation edition, all blacked out. So yeah, we got his and hers. Beautiful.
blacked out GMCs.
Outstanding.
Beautiful. Congratulations.
That's it. Then I threw some chicken on the grill and I'm all happy. So I got my cooking in for the weekend.
Boom.
That's it. What'd you do?
I hung out with Kevin, some of the guys.
Yes,
from
I saw
NEP.
that.
You know, I hung out with that guy, Len Will.
Yes.
Who owns, I'm going to give him a quick shout out because, dude, Len's a good dude. He owns Bedland Farms Barbecue in Andover. He's a caterer. That guy's just a great guy. Invited me over his house the next day, showed me some of his gear.
Nice.
That's it. Just goes to show you this barbecue is really a family. It just is. You know? I mean, he's essentially, I mean, I guess you can call him a competitor, but we don't look at it like that. We're family. In other industries, you'd be viewed as a competitor.
Yeah.
In this, let me help you. Don't buy this, don't buy that, don't waste your money on that. It's great. So we did some ribs, hung out with the guys, did a couple chuck roasts. Unfortunately, then no one made it to the chuck roast. We're passed out on bourbon.
Nothing wrong with that.
Lightweights. Anyway,
So anyway, I got a question for you.
and Mike Hamill was there too. Good dude also. What's your question?
How's your pit coming? Quiet you. This is a segue. This is what we
Maybe-
call a segue in the business.
Maybe we should ask today's guest.
You think he'd know something about it?
Who's here today?
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from Austin, Texas, the owner, president, CEO, and everything in
Mac
between
Daddy.
of Backline Fabrication and Smoke is the one, the only, Ryan Newland. What's up, brother?
Ryan. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys?
Ah.
That was a little steep.
You know this guy over here?
Yeah, a little bit.
You haven't
We've crossed paths.
between me and you because no one else is listening. Have you had to block him on the phone yet?
Couple times.
I'm the guy that
Couple
Venmo'd you a bunch of cash.
Well,
That was
because
me.
I had to block him on the call, and then I had to block him on the FaceTime. He keeps trying to get visuals of the shop.
Trying to catch visuals of him in maybe like the bathrobe or something, but I know the smoker's not ready yet. But has it started? Have we started it yet?
Perfection takes time.
No, I don't want to talk. We can talk about
Thank
my
you,
smoker
Johnny
forever.
Mags.
Let's not do that.
Perfection.
No one wants to hear that.
takes
We've already talked
time.
about it.
Oh, what's it? We. What are you, French?
What?
Well, you got a mouse in your pocket.
talking to a wall here?
We talk about my smoke. You talk about your smoker.
Wouldn't you?
I sit over here just as moral support.
If this guy had a 500-gallon coming, he'd talk about it
You
too.
damn
Let's
right
not
I would.
Let's not joke with each other here. Anyway, dude, it's so good to have you on the show.
So, Ryan, thank you for taking time, brother. How's it going?
It's busy, real busy right now. So we're just trying to take advantage of that situation. Try to keep the doors open,
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I have first found out about you through a mutual friend of ours, the dog father himself, Brother Alton Matthews.
Yes, sir.
And there was a big video with a big unveiling of a particular pit.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive me, I forget what it was, the event that it was unveiled for, but it was beautiful.
Which one? The American flag one?
That's the one.
Yeah, that's for John Brotherton at Liberty Barbecue. in
Liberty
Round Rock.
Bar. That's the.
Yep,
there we
yep.
go.
Yep.
So the big question is, obviously, you work in metal. You're a fabricator. Did it always been with smokers and grills and everything, or was it something else and evolved to smokers?
It was something else, and it evolved into smokers. The smoking food and stuff became a passion of mine, and then building of the smokers then became a bigger passion than that. So now I just kind of do both of them and try to make a living at it.
So when you started out, you weren't doing smokers. You were just like a fabrication. So what was like the start? What was your niche? What were you building, or what were you making, fabricating for people?
Well, I worked at a set building company in Hollywood, California. So I worked in the special effects and metal fabrication section of that company.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we did. I've built stuff that you can't even imagine. I got stories that everyone thinks you're lying about when you tell them. I mean, it's. I come from a pretty big background. I got a pretty impressive resume.
So you are from California originally?
Yeah, Southern California.
Southern California. So do we have time for one of these stories that we're not going to believe?
No, we'll leave that one out.
Leave that for around maybe when I come pick up the smoker.
When you come pick up the smoker, because then we'll have another 2 years worth of stories to tell you.
So,
He didn't catch that.
Hey, Johnny Mags.
what other story? What's he saying?
Oh, well over.
What I miss?
Nothing.
Come on,
When you come and pick up the stories, you'll have another 2 years of stories to tell you.
Oh yeah.
You got it now. You still don't understand it.
I missed it.
It's going to take 2 years for him to build your smoker.
Oh yeah, that was the point. I did get that.
Welcome to the show, Greg.
But we all know that's not true.
Welcome back.
We all know that's not true. So I didn't want to have to absorb that information.
It could be true. You don't know how long
I
it takes to
hope
build
not.
a 500-gallon smoker, but we can find
I
out.
want to find that out. I want to know what the turning point was for Ryan building smokers. Was it the love of barbecue that got you into it? Was it like just a challenge thing? What was the turning point that got you into building smokers?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just a turning point.
Because obviously you were in Hollywood working for the movies and building sets and everything. So what made the move to Texas
Yes.
and starting the fabrication company there?
Well, the move to Texas was just to get some change, get out of California. Everyone knows that place is doing nothing but going downhill. We got out of there well before that, before where it is now.
Yeah.
So I'd get people from California still calling me, asking me, what did I know 6 years ago when we left? And I just said, I just know I wanted something different. So the wife and I picked Austin, Texas, and moved out here for some change. And then when I moved out here, I started working at a steel fabrication company, doing basically structure steel and architectural steel fabrication. And then it was 2.5 years after that, a buddy of mine and myself opened up Backline Fabrication. And that partnership was short-lived. It was about a 6-month ordeal. And he decided to split. So I've been Han Solo ever since for all you Star Wars fans.
Nice.
So you are Backline Smokers in fabrication.
Yep.
And now you don't. Now you just do this. You don't have like a crew like some other larger pit builders in the area. You don't have a crew of people. Your hands touch every weld on that smoker. Every fabricated piece is done by you. Is that right?
Yeah.
That was a rumor on the streets.
I take a lot of pride in what I'm doing, but I also take a lot of responsibility because if somebody gets their pit and something is screwed up or something's totally awesome, that's 100% me. So if something does break and it's shitty or whatever, then that's my fault. There's no one to blame, no one to point fingers.
Good to know.
It's all me.
Good to know.
Cool. So you started Backline Fabrication. Now, what was, just let me build a pit, or was it a customer coming in, hey, can you build me a smoker?
No, it actually started back when I was in California, and my buddy Phil Raitt, he would always smoke barbecue and stuff like that, and that was something that I wanted to learn how to do. So I decided, since I was in a fab shop, I built my own first smoker out of a 55-gallon oil drum, and real thin metal. So it wasn't anything exciting. I didn't know the difference. I didn't know what was good and what wasn't. Certainly, I made a smoker. I just barely got rid of it, actually, a year ago. And when cooking on that smoker, it made pretty good food. It just was terrible to cook on because it wasn't efficient. It wasn't. You had to burn a lot of wood just to keep heat in it because it was just terrible. I didn't know what I was doing. So then I started to build a bigger smoker when I was in California at the transition of being out there to moving to Texas. So when I moved to Texas, I brought all the parts with me, and I ended up finishing that smoker, which was a vertical smoker.
Okay.
And it's round. It was a 24-inch diameter by 48-inch chamber, but standing, vertical with a firebox directly underneath it. They call it a Pollock smoker. And I didn't know that either until later.
Are those stacks for those types of smokers in the middle, in the back, rather than off to the sides when the box is underneath?
It was on the top, but pushed towards the back.
Okay.
And centered on the plate.
Centered, yep.
And actually, that pit is still working today. It's actually over at our buddies at Treaty Oaks Distillery. They use it.
Yep. Nice.
So with that pit, I had I finished it out here in Texas, and we started cooking on it, and it was pretty cool. It turned out a lot of good food, and the wife and I were at a bar one day, and I went in the bathroom. And on the wall in the bathroom was a barbecue competition flyer. So I came out and I was all fired up. My tail was wagging. And I go, hey, there's a barbecue competition going on here in October. I said, I think I want to join it. It was $150 buy-in, all 3 meats, chili or beans and salsa entry and all that business. So we ended up entering the competition, and my buddy Dave and I, we cooked in it and all that, and we GC'd the comp, and that was our very first one. And after that, it was on fire.
Yeah.
So then it was like, now I got to build a trailer. I got to build me a pit. So I won about $2,500 to $2,800 at that competition.
Which pit did you use that for that comp? Was that the
vertical?
The vertical, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
The vertical one that I finished out here.
Nice.
So I took all the money from that and dumped it into rims and tires and steel and all that, and started building a trailer. And the funny part is, I started building that trailer in 2015, and that's actually, the trailer never got done. So that's the trailer that I have now, that I took the 250-gallon pit I was going to build off of it as my comp pit, and that's my 375 shop trailer now.
Which is beautiful.
So,
oh, we should have got a picture just to throw up for today. That thing is money. I love that color blue.
Which color?
It's his shop pit that he has.
Oh,
It's the one Alton was using on the
yes.
they were cooking the brisket that day,
Yep.
and they were hanging out, and the thing is, whoop,
I haven't seen Alton.
dude, come on, it's all over his page.
I haven't seen Alton. Open your ears,
Oh,
sir.
today,
Grow your beard so you
Hey.
can hear.
what? Have we said hi to anyone real quick?
No.
Kent, Matt, what's up, guys? Real quick, Lep, Judy. Ryan, what's up, guys? Rachel,
Brother Rick,
Rachel?
Jason,
My
yes.
wife is in here too.
Yes,
by
and
the
she
way.
is. I have to agree with her. She is the brains of the operation.
She was making fun of me.
Yeah, she should.
she's
Big
watching this
Rome.
to find out what's happening with your pit.
She probably is.
Lady and Wally,
You should be more scared of my wife. than me.
Julie, Uncle
If my wife's
Steve.
named Rachel too, I'm
What's up,
scared
Rick
of all of them.
Galindo? Kyle.
Oh, yes. Actually, Kyle had a question, so we'll start this one off with one of our questions from Kyle Alexander. What's your favorite pit that you've built so far?
I like that question.
Oh man, that's a loaded question.
Maybe you want to make sure not all your customers are watching.
They're all,
Don't worry, yours ain't on the list yet.
It's going to be mine. Ask them that in 4 months.
Maybe. The funny part is that each one gets better and better. Is the issue? Gosh, I have a couple. I can't just narrow it down to one. So one of my favorite competition pits that I built is got to be John Barton of Barton Barbecue. He's a competition cook. His pit is gorgeous. Everything about it is
I saw that reveal.
really nice. Yeah, Alton did a reveal video on it.
One stage automotive paint job on there, that gray color. Oh, pro.
It's all his logo's all painted in with automotive paint, so it came out really nice. It's on the nice rims and all that. So we're going to put out probably 3. The second one would be Brotherton's 500, the American flag with the Liberty Bell feet.
Gorgeous.
That one was pretty insane. And I don't know how many people have seen it or not, but the brand new one I just launched is the Wanderlust craft barbecue and coffee trailer.
Dude.
That entire build has to be probably one of my best builds from here, like as an all. And honestly, but that pit has to be one of the best pits I've built functionality wise. That thing runs like a freight train.
That was enclosed inside of a trailer, and the stack. Did that go through the top or just up to the hole in the roof?
It goes through the top about a foot maybe.
Wow. And is that stationary? That doesn't fold or anything?
It doesn't fold down. Yeah, it's stationary.
Okay. And so they serve coffee and stuff out of there and everything?
He's going to. Not out of there.
They're covered from the Elements smoker.
Yeah, so what he has, that part right there is just the smoke house. So that's just the smoker.
Got it. Okay.
They'll have the coffee and their food service and stuff out of either another food truck or tent or whatnot. Once they get everything running, they got hit with reality on Friday that they finally have the pit. So now it's like, I was talking to Ted the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, there's a reality check now. It's like, oh, it's go time." So
absolutely. So
build.
I just lost the train of thought. Damn it!
Don't do this live, John.
No. So if someone was to order a pit from you, you obviously you go through the what do you want, how do you would you actually start it? How do you source? Okay,
the tanks, or
I'll go there. You force me to go there.
What?
How are you going to? How'd you source his 500-gallon tank?
Yes.
Do you source it, or do you actually build the tank, fabricate the tank yourself?
No, we source it. They're all decommissioned propane tanks for the big ones. Mm-hmm. So Greg has a 500-gallon decommissioned tank.
Oh yeah.
So what I do is I have a buddy named Rex, and I call him up, and he gets me all these tanks because he has boneyards that he deals with that has these tanks. So I could call him up and say, "Rex, here's what I'm looking for." If one wants to be like a natural patina, almost like Wanderlust was, mm-hmm. I tell him, "Hey, I need something that's real rusty looking, not very pitted, something with character," and he'll go around, he'll find me something. If something's going to get a really plush paint job and look really pristine like Greg's, then it's going to be like, "Hey, I need you to find me one that's damn near brand new. For some reason it's decommissioned." Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then he'll find me one of the smoothest ones I can get. I'm building another 500 that's actually coming into the shop next for Cooper Abercrombie. He was a guy who had one of my pits. He had a competition pit for 7 months, and then his business started taking off. Catering food. So he ordered a 500, sold his comp pit. But he's getting a really awesome paint job also. And he came down here and he actually put in some time. He wanted to do some work. So we set him outside with some sanders and sandpapers. And I told him, I said, "As good as you want this paint job, you need to make the pit look that good." So he said, "That thing's baby butt smooth, man. If there's any water on it, you're slipping and sliding right off that thing." So he wants it to be pretty badass.
That sounds awesome.
Get out here. Hey, Greg, I got a job for you.
Honey, I'll be back at 5 for dinner. Or not. Hey, my mom's in here. What's up, Mom? Mama D in the house. Mama D. Actually, she'd be more afraid of my wife. Goes like wife is my mom's most scariest wife. Gotta watch out for her, and then.
Well, I think she's listening.
And then my daughter, because my daughter's.
I think she's listening to today to find out exactly what you're sticking in her driveway and yard.
Yeah, we had a conversation of wood on the way up, and it doesn't sound like she wants me to dump a quarter wood there anytime.
You shouldn't. You're gonna dent the driveway.
That's what my dad said.
That's the thing.
I never heard such a thing. You're gonna dent the cement by dropping the wood.
Top.
Yeah, but it's not hot anymore. It's freaking 41.
It doesn't matter. It still will indent if it's hit hard enough and dump.
Thanks. Take my mom's side on live.
Damn
on the
right,
air.
I'm gonna. I'm no dummy. I'm no dummy.
Dump it on the lawn.
Then you're gonna kill the grass.
Oh my God!
Don't play games with me.
See what I'm dealing with here? Ryan talked me into the 500.
Wood storage in your trailer?
How big is the dimensions of the wood basket, actually?
You just don't worry about that. I'll just worry about getting wood in there.
How much wood do you think we can fit in there? 20 sticks, 30 sticks? It remains to be seen.
We'll figure that out.
I'm not worried about it. I'm going to have to find a place to dump wood. We all know that. Anyway.
How much wood the basket holds is the least of your issues right now.
It really is the least of my problems.
God damn.
I got a
You
whole
don't get
slew of
done,
them.
trust me.
I'm not worried about it. That's why this guy's doing it.
I understand.
No worry at all.
Don't
My only worry is...
worry on camera.
My only worry is how do I...
You sitting there.
I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to get it. I'm going to go there. I'm going to have it shipped. It's a whole other story.
You got some time to figure it out.
Anyway.
So, Ryan, what is the science, I suppose, behind building a custom pit? You obviously you source the pit itself, but then do you have to pressure test the tank? Obviously, probably not, because obviously the doors open and the stacks and everything. But what is the standard operating procedure of starting the fabrication of a new pit?
Well, the procedure, I guess, if you wanted to go like step by step, let's just talk about Greg's because he's got that stupid smile on his face.
Yeah.
I'd appreciate that. Yeah.
So, we get the tank in. I find the best side. I find out from Greg or whoever the customer is what side of the trailer or whatnot they want the doors on.
Right
do
side.
you want it on the driver's side of the trailer, passenger side of the trailer? And then that determines on which side of the tank I cut and which side of the tank I end up blowing the hole in the bottom for the firebox and or the stack, because once you cut that, you're locked in. You can only do it on one side.
Can we talk about, just quickly, can I just ask you, how scary is it to cut into a decommissioned propane tank for the first time? How certain are you that there's no propane left in there before you take flame to it?
Well, I mean, you're not ever really certain. There's always the smell, but that doesn't mean that the propane's in there. That they put an additive because propane doesn't have a scent.
Right.
So there's an additive in there that gives you that scent, and that's always residual. That's in the metal. That's all this other stuff. So as we're grinding and welding on it, that smell is always coming out.
Okay.
But to cut those tanks right the first little pop, I mean, it's a freaking butt clencher, man. It's rough.
It must be, man.
A lot of times if it's real bad, like John Brotherton's, his 500 gallon was really, really ripe. So I didn't want to take a chance. We dumped a bunch of Dawn soap in there and
I've heard that.
And I filled it up with water and let it run the overflow, and I let it sit for a couple days, and then I'll pierce a small hole at the bottom with the plasma and let the water drain out, and then I'll go ahead and cut it, because by then all the gas is obviously gone once the water pushes it out.
Yeah.
Because the water will push all that out the hole.
Okay, cool.
So, but it's still,
I've always wondered that. Yeah.
I don't recommend people doing it, if they're just hobbyists. It's only, professionals should do it. And I don't even, consider myself like the professional propane cutter, because I don't think there is one. Every time you do it, it's a risk, man. It's a risk, but it's one of those things where some of us are willing to take it.
Right.
But safety always has to become first,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
So-
when I set those tanks up, there is a little bit of a science behind it, because the weakest part of those tanks, if one of those is going to blow, or the caps are going to pop off.
Okay.
And they're going to pop off and they're going to shoot really far. Okay. So as I'm cutting those tanks, I make sure that they're angled at a way where they're not going to shoot off into my neighbor's, door of my, our complex here or anything else. So I take a little bit of, precaution in that standpoint, but honestly, it'll take a lot to fire one of those things off.
Right. So after you cut the hole and you figure out what side you want the firebox on, what's after that? What are your steps usually? Once I
cut that hole, I'll mount that. I'll mount the inner pipe or tank or whatever for the firebox and get that all leveled out. Because once I get inside, I got to put in, all my secret stuff from the fire into the chamber.
Okay.
And then I'll start laying out the racks once the doors are cut open. I'll start getting the rack slides in because all of my pits have, slide out racks.
Even the
So
bottom ones
they're
too?
not inset.
The bottom ones too? All
Yeah.
slide out? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. How
And
do
the
you know-
reason for that,
Yeah.
the reason for that being is if you do have uppers in there, and let's just say you have stuff on that back rack on the lower, that upper's always going to be in your way.
Right.
You're only going to have 8 to 10 inches of clearance to try to weasel your way back in there. In a 500-gallon pit, it's so deep, it's just going to be a pain in the butt. So
Right,
you have
right.
to, well, you don't have to, but I do it. So you just grab that bottom rack, slide it out, and get to all your meat and not have to worry about it. Or you could remove the uppers if you really, really wanted to. But
How do you know how big to cut the doors? Is it as big? Are the racks like a standard size that would go in there so you know how big to cut them? Or like, how do you determine that?
if I wanted to make money doing this, I would have it preset
Yeah.
and do it. But
Ben?
I wing it and pre-cut every single one. Like each one's different. Sometimes I'll do a 4-inch from the seam. Sometimes I'll do a 6-inch.
Okay.
It depends on what is also. Once I blow that hole out for the firebox, I'll look inside. You can kind of see what's around. If I know there's going to be some weird stuff by that weld, I'll maybe push it in a little bit more because once you cut the door, you still have to have room on the outside of that for your gauges. So you don't want to be stuck through 1.5 inches of weld and seam and everything.
Okay, hold on one second. What?
Why are you laughing, Ben?
Why do you have this? You have this look like you want to say something.
No, I had nothing I
This
wanted to say. You were listening, but you were looking at me intently, so I was like, what's going on? And
Here I am looking
we were
at
just
things,
going back and
something's
forth with the
over
looks
there.
of like,
Did
what,
I miss something?
what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? That's basically what was happening behind the scenes.
Okay, thanks.
Ben just wants
All
to
right,
be
we're
on the
better.
goddamn show. Get him a seat, will you? Get up here.
He
Ben.
knows where they are. He can come up at any moment.
You better ask some questions because I have like 50 million more. I shouldn't be
I'm
asking.
getting
You'll
to
never
one.
talk again if I keep going.
I get into one. Ryan, the folding stack. I actually have never seen it done other than on some of the pictures of you're doing on your pits.
The folding stack.
What's the thought process on that? How much of a pain in the ass is there for, to prevent leakage and airflow so you're
Make it
still
nice and
getting
sealed and
good seal so
does
you're
it mess
still
with
getting the
convection?
regular.
You know.
You want me to ask the goddamn questions or you just want to
I'm playing.
just want to run
I'm
over
supposed
here?
to be I'm playing off of you right now. I'm playing off of you.
It's called moral support.
It's like what
I should have just stayed here in moral support, smoked my cigar, and drank
I was
coffee.
agreeing. I was saying yes to convection.
God damn.
You just
You
talk.
done?
No, but go.
The thought on this folding stack.
Convection.
Well, honestly, once that pit starts flowing and stuff, as long as you have a decent seam on that stack, they don't leak. We do a bevel on the bottom and then a reverse bevel on the top, so it'll sit inside like a seat. And then, honestly, the pain in the butt on it is doing the hinge point and getting that to lay down where you want it to, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
For me, I like to, when I lay those stacks down, I like to be as close to the pit as possible because I think it just looks really sleek.
It does.
And it's pretty tough. There are a bunch of other guys that do the fold down stacks. A lot of them have where they fold them up and it ends up being a plate, and then you can rebolt the plate down and things like that. I like it just so it looks pretty seamless. I mean that crack kind of goes away when it stacks up. But my biggest thing is when that thing's driving down the street, if it's on a trailer or whatnot, or even on like the small pits, the backyards or the competitions, those stacks fold down. You can put them inside enclosed trailers, where ones that don't have stacks that fold down, you can't do that. So all my pits come inclusive with fold down stacks, unless it's in something like the Wonderlust trailer where it does no good to fold it down. But for me, it's all about cosmetics and the functionability of driving it around. The fold down stack doesn't help you at all, obviously, when it's smoking. It just is what it is.
Now, do you strictly do just the custom pits, or do you have a like a regular line, or are you going to eventually be leaning towards a regular line of production? So, on a website, anybody could, I want a backyard model pit, and here's your base model of it, instead of going the whole custom route.
Like a cookie cutter route.
That's kind of what I have now. I do have the backyard. I have my competition. They come as a pretty standard. But when you're spending that kind of money on these pits, they're not cheap. Even the entry level, the backyard, which is a 48 by 24 with a 24 by 24 insulated firebox, you're still investing. That's like my least expensive pit. It's still an investment. It's a little under $3,000, and that's a lot of money. I don't care, I don't care who you are. That's a lot of, it's a shit ton of money to me. So if I'm going to go out and spend that kind of money, I need to give options to people to where it is customized for them. So I guess a short answer to your question is no, I don't think I'm ever going to have 10 backyard pits sitting in my shop that are all just painted barbecue black, and then people can just come get them.
Okay.
I think when you're spending that kind of money, it should have your own personal wants into that pit. And I'm a pretty strong believer of that. And I think that's what sets my name aside from others.
Yeah, okay. Now, that backyard model that you were talking about right now, on your on one of your pages, is that the one with like the Army Jeep paint job? There was one that had that like
the green.
Yeah.
And it didn't have wheels. It was just on a stand. Black had black. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my buddy Aaron's. He's out of Oklahoma, and that's the backyard version.
And 24. That's 24 by 48 long, right? 24 in diameter. So like the Oak Joe, the standard backyard would be like 18, 16 or 18, right? I think so. You get into that 24 is a pretty great diameter there that you're working with.
Yeah, because even on that, even with the 24, you can fit a lot of meat on it. Because if you're going 24 deep, you're no longer putting the racks ribs sideways. You're
putting them this way. You get at least six of them there. Yeah. So when you mount, if I can ask this question without John yelling at me.
As long as I'm not talking over your question, that's fine.
Listen. When you mount to trailers, you don't just get a trailer and mount on any trailer. You custom build your trailers. I want to know.
Correct.
I want to know why and how. It
the
amazes me. Yeah, that doesn't seem like an easy thing to do.
Yeah, your trailer's considered a walk-up trailer.
Okay.
Not a walk-on. Now, if you had a walk-on like Wanderlust or Putzka's Family Barbecue that I did, it's cheaper for me to go out and just buy a flatbed from somebody.
Okay.
We'll go to like Texas Trailers or something and buy a standard utility trailer and then mount them to that trailer.
Okay.
But the walk-ups like yours and Coops and CRJs that I did out in Dallas, those are in my shop pit. They're all custom made. The cool part is when I custom make a trailer, I can make them to any size I want, any size you want.
Right.
Like Coops, he's getting a 500 on a trailer, and his is going to be tough to build because he's got such specific parameters to where he needs to fit his in his garage. So I really need to compact that trailer. And I think actually that's what I was telling Greg. After that one's done, we'll have a better idea of how that is going to, work. So we can get him something just as compact and maybe a little bit narrower.
I saw a video that you did with the taillights. I think the Dogfather did. I think Alton did one with the taillight installation.
Yeah, that was my shop pit.
Yeah. So what did now remind me again? What was that? What was that video about exactly?
I have no idea. Alton just came by and he wanted to film some shit.
Was it that
we put it up?
That's pretty much how it goes.
I think it was you put all the wiring inside the trailer.
I do. Right? I run all the wires in the tube.
That's so clean.
Multiple reasons. It's super clean.
Yep.
Another reason, it's a major pain in the ass, so not a lot of guys do it. Also, it keeps rodents and stuff away from eating your wires and ruining your electrical.
Interesting. Never even thought of that. That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, when you're cooking on food, guess what? Not just Johnny shows up at the trailer, okay? To the rodents.
That's, yeah, I would imagine. It smells so damn good. You do the elbow for your stack. When some guys do that squared off look, is that a move? Is it for you? Have you done it both ways? What? That's kind of one of your signature designs. Is that you have that elbow? Is that a choice for convection reasons, scientific reasons, anything? Just
For me,
aesthetics.
It's more cosmetic. I think it just looks super clean. To keep that diameter the same from coming out of the tank all the way to the top, that to me just makes it look really pristine. A lot of guys will, beat me up on Instagram and Facebook and things like that, saying that you need to have that induction area or whatever. This is just me. I guarantee I'm going to get hashed out for this, but whatever, I call bullshit. My pits run amazing. Anyone that's cooked on one of my pits hasn't complained about anything. They hold great temperature. They run on super low fuel consumption.
Key.
I mean,
That's key.
to be honest with you, I think I have it down, and I don't need to copy other people's, designs and stuff like that. That's figured out already. Mine's working, and everything that I do inside the pit is helping that work. I just don't find a reason to do that, honestly.
Did you see that video of when they were cooking the briskets that day on the shop pit? Mm-hmm. Alton went around and he, videoed the firebox. Now, once the cold bed was set, these guys had just two pieces in there, crossed over each other, and that thing was just stuck at 275. Talk about your firebox with us for a minute before we have a few more minutes. Can you tell us about why your firebox is so special? Because that's a super important part.
Oh, huge,
of it.
Especially up here.
What is so great about your firebox, and why is it so efficient?
Luck. We do insulated firebox.
Mm-hmm.
On the big pits like yours, we use a round cylinder on the inside. 90% of the builds, we'll build a square box around that round tube and stuff that full of 2400 degree fire installation. And then
Fire insulation?
yeah, but then it's like,
They just want to tell us the secrets, John. Look at them.
Can't blame them.
Cotton balls, matched grass.
well, usually it's just shop rags.
So basically, you insulate the shit out of it.
Yeah, it gets insulated.
Yeah.
But a lot of people still, they're like, oh, these still get hot. They still get hot on the top, and it's perfect platform. Being on video to tell people, more than one person at a time. My job is to keep the heat on the inside. It's fire against metal. The metal's going to get hot.
It's going to radiate.
The inside's going to stay hot. The outside's going to get hot.
Yeah.
I'm not building these smokers so you could sleep on top of the firebox. I'm building them to cook food, and they're going to cook food really efficiently. The other thing is, not all of them. I don't know if you guys noticed the Wonderlust pit. I kind of threw a curveball to people, and I did a rounded firebox. So we did a rounded insulated firebox. There's two reasons. Mostly everyone's expecting a certain design out of me, just from past pictures and everything. And I like to keep people on their toes. I'm going to change shit up. Greg might get an octagon. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
As long as it works. Insulated is key up in these pots because you know
Damn
how
straight.
cold it gets in the wintertime.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, we'll double stuff yours probably.
Yeah, that's great. Just like a double stuffed Oreo. I'm in.
Oh, don't get me hungry. I was X'd from the cookie jar this week. From the kids' snacks for the kids' school.
Different subject we could talk about for an hour.
But we don't have it now. We have
Ryan, is there anything you want to tell anyone out there about your smoker. I mean, look, we'll have you on again at some point, obviously, but is there anything you want to tell anyone out there about your smokers that separates them and makes them, better than, in my opinion, most?
That's a loaded and hard question because there's a ton of fantastic pit builders out here. There's fantastic pit builders everywhere. They're on the East Coast, on the West Coast, in the South. Things that make my pit stand out that I would think is how custom I make them to the person.
Okay.
Every pit you get, if you got any of the top builders or anything, they're all going to run. They're all going to cook your food. Everyone who owns one is always going to say they're better than somebody else's. That's what happens when you start spending that kind of money on these things. Then obviously, if you're going to spend that kind of money, you're going to think your GMC truck is the best truck ever because that's what you just spent your money on. That's what I'm saying.
It is awesome. Don't even.
You won't be the first person I stabbed.
My mom's watching.
But I think my biggest thing is how custom that I like to make each pit.
Yeah.
And there's never anything that's duplicated on my pits. You'll never see another pit that's going to be like Greg's. You'll never see a pit like Coop's. I'm going to change them all up. They're all going to be different. A lot of guys are acting like, I've seen some stuff come across on Facebook and it's like, Backline's still trying to figure out their design and all this kind of stuff. You guys can think what you want. I'm not trying to figure out anything. I got pits that work. What I'm doing is I'm trying to make everything 100% customized and different. I'm trying to keep everyone on their toes. And I want to keep trying to raise the bar if I can.
I love it. You have any questions?
I got nothing because we are almost damn nuts out of time. But Ryan, thank you for taking some time. We're definitely going to have a part 2 and probably part 3. A part 10, depending on
we're gonna
how long it takes for him to get
need an update.
Updates.
Halfway through.
And
see where
more
we
of this
are.
talk, because this was great. I got a ton more stuff I'd love to ask you, but unfortunately we are up against the always winning clock.
Where can everyone find you, Ryan?
We got a ton of those. Where can the people get in touch with you, find you, social media, websites, all that?
The easiest way, our website is getting kind of reworked right now. But if you want to go take a look at it, it's backlinefab.com. The easiest way I think that a lot of people get a hold of me is just through Instagram, which is at Backline Fab. Also, Facebook, we have Backline Fabrication. For some reason, it's hard for me to get a hold of the messages on Facebook, but if you only have Facebook, give me a couple days because sometimes it pops up, it toggles between a couple things. But Instagram is probably the best, and Instagram's the one that we keep most of our attention on, post-wise and stuff.
That's where I found it. That's where I found you. Creeping them.
Stay tuned for all the new stuff coming up.
I've been creeping them for at least a year.
Yeah, that would freak me
And
out.
I'm not going to. I'm
weird.
not going to stop. Now I'm going to creepy even more. Can't wait to start seeing pics. Woo!
Well, at least you're looking less creepy with the beard growing back. You were real creepy before.
Last week you were real creepy. Things got weird.
But Ryan, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. We will definitely going to have part 2 and part 3 and some follow-ups to keep him on the sane end.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me, man. This is fun.
It's awesome.
Thanks, Ryan.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you,
brother.
Quick question for you.
Hi. Ryan, just stay with us.
Kev wants to know what it's like you want to cook with one arm?
Because we wrestled last week like children, and I ripped my whole arm muscle. That still kind of hurts a lot.
So Kev won. Okay, good.
Ask Kevin about his fist. Tell me how he can't even make a full fist.
All I know is you can't.
I don't even know how that happened.
So we're good.
I'm all gimped
But that's it for this week, folks. We'd like to thank you all for joining us. Catch the audio wherever podcasts are found. Catch the video on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. You'll have all our episodes right there at your fingertips. On social media, find us at Pit Life BBQ on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And
check me out, Barbecue Broker on Instagram. Also, Barbecue Broker Catering on Facebook. New England Pitmasters Facebook and Instagram. That's about all I got.
And Johnny Mag's Barbecue on YouTube. Questions and comments, send them to pitlifebbqpodcast@gmail.com. And like always, subscribe, like, rate, and review. Hit that share button. You guys are awesome. Love yous. It keeps us going every week.
Love
we
you
have
guys.
great guests like Ryan and Informative on, if you want a custom pit, get in touch with Ryan. That's it. Maybe if you ask nicely, he'll get yours before Greg's. That would be funny as a bastard.
Don't bank on that, everyone, but you can try.
You can get it there before Greg's. I'd appreciate it. Just to watch him scram. But anyway, until next week, keep the smoke rolling.
And opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.